I always say that any idiot can complicate it. It takes genius to simplify it.
One of the most consistent voices in our industry when it comes to calling out what actually works.
A lot of contractors know what they should be doing, they just don't pull the trigger.
AI doesn't make you smarter, it makes you dumber if you don't know how to think.
Because people don't dream big. I was that guy, but you need to understand that
Why discipline beats technology every time.
should put them in the shoes of a contractor and stop over promising, because that's like the biggest problem in that proposition.
This is AI and Marketing for Home Service Pros, the show for contractors who want to grow without wasting time or money. If you're in roofing, HVAC, plumbing, or any home service business, we break down how AI and modern marketing can help you book more jobs, close more leads, and build a business that runs without babysitting every task.
Today's episode is one of my favorites because it cuts through a lot of noise happening right now around AI, marketing, and growth in the home services industry. My guest is Dmitry Lipinskiy, founder of Roofing Insights. Dmitry is a former roofing contractor, a longtime content creator, and one of the most consistent voices in our industry when it comes to calling out what actually works and what's just hype. We met a few years ago when he was still running his roofing company and just starting his YouTube channel. And watching how far he's taking that platform since that has been incredible. In this conversation, we don't treat AI like a magical solution. Dmitry has a very clear stance. AI doesn't make you smarter, it makes you dumber if you don't know how to think. We talk about why so many contractors chase tools instead of fundamentals, why discipline beats technology every time, and how most people already know what they need to do, they just don't do it. We get into how Dmitry actually uses AI in real life, not to replace thinking, but to proofread, structure ideas, improve content, and save time when he hits a wall. We talk about why content marketing works better than ads long term, how trust compounds, and why consistency matters more than talent. We also dive into branding, referrals, and the emotional side of the customer journey, why two contractors can do the same quality work, but one gets all the referrals. Dmitry explains why memorability, communication, and experience matter more than craftsmanship alone. This episode is for contractors who are tired of chasing shortcuts and want to build something real, whether that's a brand, an audience, or a business that lasts. It's about thinking clearly, simplifying instead of overcomplicating, and doing the unsexy work consistently. If you're trying to figure out how AI, content, branding, and discipline actually fit together and what not to waste your time on, this conversation will give you a lot to think about. Let's get into it. What's up, everybody? This is Mauricio Cardona. I'm with Dmitry Lipinskiy. Super excited to have Dmitry on the show. Welcome to the show, Dmitry.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you. We first met, I think, maybe 6 years ago. I think it's been a while. And I think when we met, you were still running your roofing company, and you were starting your Roofing Insights channel. And really, it's amazing. I just want to commend you. It's amazing how far you've come and the growth you've had in that time frame. It's a bit amazing, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, just let's get into it. So, the whole show is about really marketing and AI and technology and how contractors can benefit from the shift we've seen today. So, last time we talked, you talked about AI doesn't really make you smarter; it makes you dumber if you don't know how to think. Why do you believe that?
Because we have to work our brains. The same goes with the TV, phones, scrolling. The same goes even with the directions and GPS, right? Like, I feel like it's a great practice to go back to with times without technology. I believe that everybody should know how to drive a stick shift. Everybody should know how to fix a car. Look at people who raised just with technology. They don't know the basics. They cannot troubleshoot. So I feel like if you're a creator, AI will make you better. But you can go back and forth on ideas and stuff. But if you just rely on AI makes mistakes. It happened to me last week. I was at a Pittsburgh airport, and I took a picture of directory and say, "Hey, find me chiropractor," and it sent me upstairs. Said there's one upstairs. So I went upstairs, walk around. It's not a big airport, brand new there, and I don't see it. So I'm like, "Where do you see a chiropractor?" It says under additional services. I went under, like, finally I narrowed down directory to all the way to additional services, and I read every single one of them, and chiropractor is not one of them. It just assumed because there's a prayer room and a relaxation room, the chiropractor should be there, right? So it sent me somewhere, like, and I did not think critically. I did not double check. And now, after it sent me somewhere, I found a mistake. And it kept arguing, it kept telling me, no, I'm like, I don't see it. It's like additional services, arrow chiropractor. I'm like, it's not there. Stop making stuff up. Anyway, you have to rely on yourself and power of your brain, unless you don't like doing math or boring tasks. But still, you have to double check, triple check the result, because if you're a lawyer, if you're the contractor and you use it for professional services, you're still signing off on that result. And if you're not smart enough, guess what? I mean, how many times we went by GPS to the wrong location or to the wrong house, right? So it pays to know real skills. Like, sometimes I go by GPS. I'm like, no, this is gonna be better or faster, and I'm right because I know the area. GPS only assumes. Anyway, so we have to still trust but verify.
Yeah, I've made that mistake before many times. I've made mistakes where it's called hallucination. It's a common problem with AI. I think it's getting better overall, but it is a common problem with you how you use AI. And I agree with what you just said. I look at it the way I look at it is as a tool, right? As a tool that you can use that can help you like, grow your business and just with your health if you use it for health as well. Just many different things, right? Um, Obviously there's like a lot of hype in this space, right, with AI, and I think a lot of contractors can be fooled. Like what do you think get contractors get AI wrong? How do you think they can get it wrong?
I mean, number one, I don't think it's getting it wrong. It just contractors always looking for saver. They're looking for the marketer who will come and fix their marketing problem. Now are they going to start getting leads? They're looking for a sales manager who will come in and start selling for them. Or they're looking for that magic pill that someone somehow will come and hand them a lot of businesses, right? Or they think like, oh, I'm doing residential. If I go to commercial, mine isn't commercial. They think it's someone just give them, $6 million contract and it'll double their business. So they always have this hope, which is a beautiful thing. We should have hope, but we also should work our asses off on the stuff that we can change today. And when it comes to AI, it's that next magic pill that everybody wants to like, okay, I'm gonna sign up for this and this problem will go away. Well, nothing will work until you do. So that's my
Yeah,
answer.
yeah, that's like it's like the Ozempic of the business world sometimes, right?
You have to do the work.
Yeah, yeah. And it's something like Ozempic does work, but it's like it's a kind of a magic pill. Everybody knows how to lose weight, but a lot of people don't do it. Why? Because you have to take discipline and action, and sometimes people
Does
don't
this,
want to do that.
does this epic work, or it works with the 500 side effects?
Well, that's the thing. So like it might work, but it might have side effects. That's the thing you have to consider and stuff. But it's kind of the same thing, right? If a contracting business, if they have the fundamentals in place, right, their business is like doing good. What do you think they can a business? If somebody comes to you and say, what do you think they can use AI to build leverage in their business? If you own like a contracting business, what do you think that can happen?
At the very least, insert it where you know you're dropping balls. Like, for example, if your respond rate is very slow, like, any chats on the website, answers, like, I mean, there's so many utility uses that are not hard. Like, for example, if you're immigrant like myself, use AI to proofread your post, like, or your emails, when you send to people. Don't sound stupid. Like, if you're posting on social media, I have team and a lot of them are immigrants, and I tell them all the time, guys, we cannot afford to make spelling mistakes anymore. 5 years ago, I would understand if you don't know the word, but now you can come back to ChatGPT and say, hey, proofread this post, grammar check, grammar spell, write it better. I use it to optimize YouTube channel right now all the time because I literally will go in, upload a YouTube podcast, copy and paste transcripts and say, hey, give me a couple quotes from this interview and best catchy titles. And it'll give me like 10 ideas for the title. I don't have time for it. I don't have time to listen. It takes a lot of brain power, believe it or not, to come up with a title for YouTube video for people to click. There's so many variations, and some of them are not grammatically correct. So when I see people, contractors, having mistakes on their estimates, or like, imagine this: if you're the contractor and you're not educated and you have to write professional email or proposal or just to answer to anyone, it could be homeowner, it could be complaint, it could be online review, it can be inspector who's not passing your job, right? I mean, the power we have in our hands right now. I was in Mexico other day talking to my allergy doctor, and I told my assistant, like, don't say a word. I'm gonna translate with the ChatGPT. So I turn on and we spoke just through ChatGPT. And my assistant was like, what is this? It's literally doing better job than my assistant who lived in that city, because it knows every word, it knows every terminology. Like when we're talking about doctor shit, right? Nobody is expected to know every term, but this thing does. So the same thing here. If you're talking to engineer in Florida, you can actually use it to your advantage, but use it. Use that utility tool when you need it. When you have a specific problem in front of you, give it to ChatGPT, give it to other AI tools. Don't try like anything that saves you money, saves you time, it goes to AI.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions on that. So you obviously have a very successful YouTube channel. You've been creating content for a long time. I'm in, I'm just started this year, kind of really going into that really consistently, like I haven't done in the past. We obviously use it a lot. What are like the main kind of the strategies you use it to, like, do you have your team like use it like on a consistent basis, just like, hey, just come up with titles and come up with these different strategies, and do you actually use it to come up with different like content calendars and stuff?
My number one use is proofread. So I love creating notes. I'm a thinker. I'll create 10, 15 notes per day, right? But then once I create a note, I'll go back and forth with a ChatGPT or Gemini. Like I try them all. But what I'll do is, so let's say I have a meeting. I'll say I have a meeting with my team and I want to talk about this five problems. Or it could be anything. It could be I'm writing a video. Like I'll give you example. Recently, I did a YouTube video on everything about insurance claims. I wanted to explain the full process, so I wrote it to the best of my ability, right? And I wanted to talk about terms like what's deductible, what's ACV policy, RCV policy. So I know it all, but I need to structure it. So I wrote my note, I uploaded to ChatGPT, and I say, hey, what am I missing? I want to make a YouTube video about, ultimate guide for the homeowners who has insurance claim. Help me structure it, right? For my teleprompter. So it took my notes and it just gave me the whole new script without mistakes, structure, restructure it. Like it literally will say, here's the intro, 1 to 3 minutes, boom, here's your main part, here's your definitions. So it takes your information, it makes it better. So you can actually create a prompt like, hey, help me to script YouTube video for teleprompter on this topic. And you can come up with like 8 points. But then if you ask it, what am I missing? It says, oh, great points, but you missed top three. Oh, how could I miss it, right? So it's no different than coming to another professional and say, hey, can you bounce ideas? Can you double check if I didn't miss anything? But this thing is smarter, always available, and knows the topic. But it's important to give it context. What are you trying to do? So every time I have a major problem, like with anything, it could be my homepage on my website, or it could be, I'm like, I literally will tell ChatGPT, I'm struggling to come up with a title or a topic, or I need an ending for this video, and I'll give you ideas or whatever. So like, I feel like it's a horrible helper to start from scratch, but it's excellent helper when you hit the ceiling or some kind of pickle, don't know how to finish. It'll help you to break through.
So that content is that target audience, is it homeowners? So you're making it for homeowners, I'm assuming. That's a great piece of correct me if, like, would you agree with me? Is that's a great piece of content for a contractor can make themselves, right? So they can make it themselves to the audience, right? And that would be educational to the actual homeowners, right?
Yes, so we try most of my content now is targeted for the homeowners. I would say this year is probably 70-30. 70% for the homeowners, 30% for the contractors. But we have a dual audience. So like for example, my shingle guides. Obviously roofers will want to see our rating. Like, what does Dmitry think about OC duration, right? But I don't make it for the contractors. I want a contractor's validation. I want them to agree or disagree with me. I want it there. Like, I don't want to just be always right. So, like, if I rank a shingle, I'll say, hey guys, my rating is 9.3. Where are you at? What do you guys think, right? But I'm making it for the homeowners, not for the contractors. But obviously, other professionals would have to chip in, and if they disagree, I would appreciate if they tell me why.
Got it. You've talked to probably the most successful people in the space. Like, what are the most common ways that you've seen like these successful contractors use like AI and technology in general? What are like talk about something that's like very interesting that you saw recently?
Oh, you're not gonna like my answer. I don't think anybody will, but successful people keep it stupid simple. They do adopt technology, obviously, but they don't complicate stuff. Like I always say that any idiot can complicate it. It takes genius to simplify it. So when it comes to real gangsters in a game, like if it works, they're gonna go all in and they'll implement it on every level possible. If it works but doesn't make the money, they're probably gonna play with it and put it on the side. So in order for a successful company to implement something, they all look at a true ROI. Like, does it make me money? Does it make us better? Like, what are KPIs? If they cannot measure it, it's just an idea. They're gonna try to execute on everything, but then if it doesn't work or it doesn't bring massive results, they're not gonna use it. So, and we have quite a few tools in the industry. I mean, if you go to IRE, like you'll see 1,100 booth, right? Like a couple hundred of them going to be in technology, drone technology, like marketing, like, and if you come to big offices of successful companies, you'll see technology, but we're talking about 10, 15 vendors. So you go from 1,000 offers to 15 vendors, right? Where's the rest 985? Well, the reality is to be successful, you have to say no a lot. You can't implement everything. You have to find what works for you and just do it. Like, and it even goes to fast food. Like, if you go to Papa John's or Chick-fil-A, it's not like they have, 600 tools there. I mean, they have a computer and it has to work. They have, apps and delivery. But in order for us to do business with the Chick-fil-A, we don't need 500 apps. We just need few things that connects us, and that's it. Like, we have to keep it simple. They have to keep it simple. And I would tell everyone, keep your business simple, simple to understand. That's why I always say less is more. When you have overwhelming menu, when you have too many products you sell, when you're in too many markets, when your message is too confusing, you are overwhelming. Like, offering too many colors to the homeowner is analysis, what you call it, paralysis analysis, right? Keep it simple. The most successful companies, they're like, hey, here's the three options, here's three tiles to choose from, here's the three wall colors, here's, I think it's going to be mission brown, charcoal, or this color. Nothing else will work with your siding. Why even to show homeowner too many? But the same goes to technologies at our hands, because if you think about this, if you're the business owner and you sign up for Job Nimbus, Company Camp, Sumo Quote, like every like QuickBooks, now you have 6, 7 different logins. Now your sales reps have to do this, like it overwhelms them. You can't be efficient, you can't be successful using all of it. Like, to this day, I use notes on my phone, and I would say, like, my notes is my number one productivity hack. Even today, I came to the office and I went to my notes and I created a checklist what I have to get done today. Like 9 checklist on in my notes. I mean, I have note taker by, I can use ChatGPT, obviously. You can create, there's apps to be productive. Yes, I can be productive 500 ways, but notes is super simple because I'm already in the notes. I'll just, you know what? I'll just use notes. And why overcomplicate it?
Do you use notes like to come up with content ideas? How do you come up with content ideas?
Yeah, notes. Like, you just think. Every time you watch something, every time, like when I drive in the morning, oftentimes I meditate. I don't like listen to radio or like, I mean, I'll listen to podcasts, but if I'm listening to podcast and I like what I hear or it gives me an idea, right? I turn it off. I'll think about it a little bit more. I'll get my phone and I'll record that thought to come back to it later. And I keep listening because our ideas usually born in conversation, in attending, listening to someone else, but oftentimes we don't allow ourselves enough time to meditate, to think. You know, you have to become a thinker. You have to create a thought. We're all creators. So you sometimes you react to the news or whatever, and you have to think about what does it mean to you and your audience. And sometimes it's something brand new.
Yeah, have you read the book? This book called Keith Cunningham's. It's called The Road to Less Stupid. Have you read that book?
I don't think so.
Okay, he has a saying. I really recommend. I'll give you that book because he says the same, very similar things. Basically, the main thing he says, business is intellectual sport, and the thing he says that business, a lot of business success depends on you making less stupid decisions. That's what it is. Basically, less stupid decisions. And like you said, like with the argument he uses is basically once a day, like sit down, just think, and just think about the questions you have to ask yourself, and then that would kind of get you to process thinking on the things you should be doing and how to do it. So I think you'd enjoy that book. I would recommend it. I'll probably gift it to you. What you've coached thousands of contractors. What's the most common trait that are holding them back?
I would say procrastination. A lot of contractors know what they should be doing. They just don't pull the trigger. They go to the conference, they go to classrooms, and they just don't do it. They know what they should be doing. It's no longer a secret. Everybody knows. Like it's if you're in 2026, don't know what you should be doing it, you either lying or you've been under the rock, right? With a phone, with a YouTube, with a social media, everybody knows everything, right? The knowledge is not the problem. The problem is execution. It's not even laziness, it's distraction and lack of focus. So they'll go to the conference, they'll meet amazing speaker, they'll shake hands, they'll read a book, they'll listen to the podcast, and then they'll come home and do nothing. It's just they don't put plan to execute. They always procrastinate and fall back, and that's number like that's the reason they don't work out. That's the reason they don't do social media. They don't post. They don't do YouTube videos. What's not like everybody knows that as a business you should be posting daily. Like who does not know it? It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And if we're honest with ourselves, we know it's not like we're doing it because we don't have time for it. It's just not our priority. It's not hard and complicated to post 2, 3 minutes a day. And nobody can say, oh, it's not going to do anything. Everybody knows all the attention on social media, but why they don't do it? Procrastination. I'll do it later. Not now. And as a result, they get what they always been getting.
Yeah, and he said that discipline beats talent, right? In this industry, right? Yeah, it's an important thing. So posting daily and kind of like content posting. You've been talking about content marketing for a long time, and it's like it's been the same. You've been saying the same message over. Does it get tired sometimes of saying the same thing over and over? No.
I like Alex Hermosi explaining it recently. He said that social media marketing, we kind of like it. Like he said that if you follow, it comes from Alex Hermosi, so I want to just quote him. He said something with the lines is, we follow people not because we expect them to say something new, but because we like what they're standing on or for. Like, Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, Marcus Lemonis, doesn't matter. All of these people, or even Alex Hermosi, it's not like they're coming up with a new message all the time. If we're honest with ourselves, it's Gary Vee, it's always the same thing, right? Like, stop worrying, don't look at anybody's, but because we like that reminder, like if I need a reminder of marketing and like how simple it is, I'll go to Gary Vee just to get that reminder. I don't watch him because I expect him to say something new, but oftentimes to remind me. If Goggins will kick your ass for like workout, like it's just those people have something in common, and we like them and follow them because we like that message. So some people follow me because they like integrity. They like when I call out bullshit. They like, They hate that people don't pay someone's bills. So if they want a little bit of Dmitry, they come to me and I'll say the same thing. People like consistency. And I think that's the true power of the brand when you deliver. I've published, I don't know, 3,000 videos over the years. And I think, and so many people tried to cancel me. So many people predicted like, oh, it's end of Dmitry, or he's not going to survive this conflict, or he's not going to survive this fight, or now he's done and he's over, right? Guess what? No matter what I've done in 8 years, every week there's 3, 4 new videos coming up. Every single time. There's always, you can count on me like creating content. You can count on me covering news. You can count on me that you can reach me, that I'll be at IRE, I'll be at events. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not the most talented, but I'm the most disciplined and consistent guy in the industry. And if you follow me, you don't have to follow me for like 6 months straight. But if you come back to Roofing Insight, you will see fresh takes on what's happening today.
Yeah, yeah, and and every year you've grown. So you've seen the growth in that time frame, right? And I'm sure, like, because I'm starting content creator. How it was it the hardest in the beginning? Like, how long did it take for you to start like seeing the results that you wanted to see?
I mean, it took me a year and a half to get to 50. Like, I remember when I started a Roofing Insights YouTube channel, I already had 1,500 subscribers on Stormbrook Roofing channel. And it took me a year and a half to bypass it. So, like, when people, and what's funny is for the first 3 years, I did not monetize the channel. So we had 30,000 subs on the Roofing Insights when I got a first sponsor, first like brand deal, right? And I see people now, they sign up and they have on the second or third episode, they're like, this show is sponsored by, I'm like, who sponsored you? You did not, you scammed someone because you have no audience. You have nothing to bring to the table. You have like 20 views and you charging someone to be on your list. I mean, come on, like you have to think about value. Like I would say, unless you have like 10,000, 50,000 loyal followers, you have no value to the sponsor, for example. With that, I'll say this. If you think about beginning, we all start from scratch. We all start from zero. Like every single, like, Mr. Beast started from zero. But your first 100 videos will not be good. And if you understand this, you understand that numbers are the same for everyone, even for the most talented people, which is you, me, we're not talented. If you look at professional singers, artists, rappers, your Eminems, your like, I mean, think about Beatles. How many Beatles songs do you know?
A lot. I'm a Beatles fan.
But still, like, so the statistics show that it's usually 3-4% of 100 that goes viral, that
Yeah,
goes like the hits, right? So average artist will have like 200 to 300 songs in his career, 5, 10 albums, 200, 300 songs. But hits, we're talking about very few, maybe 6, 10, in a lifetime. Well, the same true goes to YouTubers, TikTokers, Instagrammers, all of them. If you think about what I'm known for, so I've done 2,000 videos, but people know me for shingle guides, gutter guides, fighting Lee hate, few news coverage here and there. So known for like I'm known probably for 20 videos. And when I used to travel, I did a lot of classes. I asked people like, "What's the video? Was first video you've seen of Roofing Insights?" And people say like shoes reviews or ladder reviews. So you have couple videos that went viral, but then I publish 4 videos a week. People don't know, people don't see me, and you can't expect people to listen to your podcast. I love Joe Rogan, and all of his stuff is good, but I don't have enough lifetime to watch every episode of Joe
yeah.
Rogan, right? Every episode is like 2, 3 hours. It's a life. But if I have interesting guests there, I'll go and watch him.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. And there's a compounding effect. I mean, this is because a lot of contractors they come to us for leads, right? Local leads. But if I tell them to do content, it's something that they should do. It's going to help them with leads, right? It's one of the main things. It's going to help them with
It'll
leads.
convert everything. It'll make the leads cheaper.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the important thing you have to understand is that aspect. If they do that and you're not gonna see anything for a while, it's gonna help you. I mean, one thing I just had Marcus Sheridan on the podcast. He said that at 2 million, revenue, you should hire a videographer like in house. And that's like in my experience, like at 2 million, most contractors not even close to hiring a videographer. They're like, it's like maybe like 20 million, they start considering it, whatever. What do you think about that? What's your opinion on that? Like when should they start hiring content and high, like what is the level that they should get to that?
I agree with Marcos. 2 million, 3 million. I would say professionally hire, like you can hire sooner, but what I would do is you can hire part time. Have him come to you, have a filming day, like every Tuesday. Have a videographer come to you for one day, film couple videos in a day. I know guys who have videographers coming twice a week. They pay like I'll give you one scenario. There's a guy in New Jersey. He spends $6,000 a month. Videographer comes to him, I think, Tuesday and Friday. They do 18 videos per month. For 18 for I think it's 18 for English channel and 18 for Spanish channel. Maybe it's 9 and 9, 18 total. Not sure there, can't remember. But it cost him $6,000. Technically, it's a full time, but it's not full time. And I think it's very reasonable. You can hire videographer for 200 bucks a day to 500 bucks a day, like reasonably. And it could be if you do the math, let's say it's 500 bucks a day to film and edit, once a week, that's $2,000. It's still better than nothing. If you do one YouTube video per week, that's 52 videos a year. It's compound effect. Like people think about compound effect when it comes to money, but think about attention. Every time I watch you, I'm closer to you. If I watch you 3 times, if I binge watch you, or if I went to your TikTok or Instagram or YouTube and I watch 3 or 4 videos in a row, boom, I feel like I already know you. I know your personality. We're so close. The ice is already broken. I'm ready. I'm here with a credit card already thinking about hiring you. Now your job is not to fuck it up.
Yeah,
Your
yeah,
job
yeah,
is just arrive and like, okay, you're the same guy from the video. All
yeah.
right, right, right. It's compound effect. It's powerful.
I made that mistake, Dimitri. So I just to give you a record, you know me. I used to post content back in the day, and I kind of stopped for years because I was relying on paid advertising, and that was a mistake. That was a mistake that I made, and it's kind of I'm now catching up to some of my competitors, right? Some of my competitors have been posting for years. They have bigger audiences. Now, like, okay, now I took it seriously. I need to do it, and that's a mistake. So if you guys are listening, don't make that mistake. Keep posting consistently, even if you don't get results, and also just start with your iPhone. Your iPhone is good enough to do videos. It's really a good camera and a good video. You don't have to start really expensive.
Yep.
Yeah. So you said we talked last time. You said competition for 100K is fierce, but competition for 1 million is small. Why is that?
Because people don't dream big. So I was at roofing process conference and I came to one of the booth to few girls at the booth, like few sales reps, and ask them what's your goal for the next year, or like actually ask them how much money do they think it's a good money to make, and two said 80,000, one said like 1 or 120. And I said, who told you that? Where is that answer coming from? So here's the thing. Most people think not small, but average, what everybody is doing. Like, what's uh, medium income in my area, right? So, in order for people to be comfortable, you don't want to be more poor than your neighbor. So, if everybody's doing 3 to 5 million a year and it's like good base, if $200,000 a year is good salary, people think about it. Now, if you want to get paid, let's say $1 million a year, ask yourself how many people truly want it, not just like wishy-washy win the lottery, but like put their mind to, I want to make $1 million a year, and what do I need to do for it? Like build an agency, how many clients you have to do, like reverse engineer your success based on $1 million, because somehow you need to come up with $1 million. Now, I'll tell you, for my life and for myself, every single time when I set a goal, because I absolutely must, must do something, I achieve that goal. And I talked to my wife the other day, like when I needed to come up with a $200,000, $300,000 in cash in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 weeks. somehow I did it. Your brain will figure out the way. But first and foremost, you have to say that number one, it's possible. Number two, I want it. And number three, start setting the plan in set to go after it. And most people, they don't have it. Their dream is literally $150,000 a year, which is not bad. I was that guy, but you need to understand that if your goal is $150,000 a year, there are, in your town probably 10,000 people who wants to do that. So the competition for that is very, very big. But big money or any money, money always comes with a headache. Money always comes with a like your headache, your stress. There's no such a thing as easy money. Now, there's also competition levels. And I would argue if you want to become a billionaire, how many billionaires we have? Few thousands in the world. So the competition for to become a billionaire is actually not that high, right? Or 100 million or 200 million. So not too many people want that kind of risk. Not many people want that stress because they know deep inside that maybe it's doable, but I don't want to do it. And as a result, and this is the saddest part, as a result, they start judging, and your body, your ego, your inner man will always try to protect yourself, your self-esteem and your ego. So what, as a protective mechanism, they start criticizing others and saying things like, oh, money is evil, or it's greed, or where do you think it's coming from, like that all rich people are evil, all rich people are greedy? Where's it coming from? If you look at the rich people, they give the most money away. Like, look at Warren Buffett and all of them, right? But and I think it's coming from our insecurities, just because we can't and we don't want to, like, we say, oh, I don't want that. And I see a lot of smaller roofing companies criticizing big roofing companies, like, oh, but I take care of my homeowner. I'm not like these big guys. I'm not greedy. I don't care about money. You're a liar. Yes, you do. You care about money more than they do.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, let's talk about branding, because it's one of the most important things that you do. Like, how does someone create a memorable brand in the home service space?
Number one, you have to look what's around. You look at what colors available, what's competition doing, right? Like if you already have an orange roofing company in town, don't come up with orange. You're going to be just a copycat. So branding has only one purpose. It's to stand out, to get attention. That's the number one thing of branding. So you have to be creative. You can't blend in on a highway, on a billboard, on your Google listing, right? Like you have to stand out everywhere. So if your logo looks like everybody's else logo, you blend in. If your color looks like everybody else, you blend in. If your name is the same, quality construction, Apex, Aspen, like I don't know, integrity, like all the basic generic names, you don't stand out at all. Like you are just like everyone else. So you have to think outside the box. What colors are not taken? What names are not taken? Why would people remember you? I mean, at the end of the day, your branding, your logo is not as important as the quality of your work and experience people actually will get. But to get to that point, people have to recognize you, discover you, and actually remember you after the fact. So many homeowners do not remember who did their roof just 2 years ago. Like you don't want to be that guy. So you want to be memorable, you want to be catchy, and you want to think outside the box. There's no rules, honestly, to marketing anymore. You can do absolutely anything. You can name your company anything as long as it will. I mean, I do recommend, and this is probably the biggest rule that I have, is you have to use focus groups. It's not what you think, it's not what I think, it's not what your marketing body thinks, it's what people think. So if you don't use focus groups, how do you know it's going to work? Like the Profit Show with Marcus Lemonis, I love it. Like, every time he has dispute with the business owner, he's like, we're going to change that. Or I don't like this. I think it's too much. And every time there's dispute, he was just, let's go. He did a focus group. He would take it to the marketplace, like, hey, we have these jeans. What do you think? Would you pay $149 for it? And people like, No, right? And he's like, see, people would not pay for it, right? Like, because it doesn't matter. You might take a price like, yeah, it's worth $149, but if people tell you they wouldn't do it, that's why biggest brands out there do focus groups. And that's why if you have two names, like your last name and some, roof knots on another side, you just say, hey, would you call Dimitri's Roofing or Roof Knots Roofing? And see if what 10 people will say. If 9 out of 10 people say they would call this company, why are you not changing your name yet? So use focus groups.
Is it simple, like sending out a survey to questions like, hey, to whoever, and like basically just which one do you like, and just picking the one that's more that people like the most.
It can be anything. It could be you can ask your kids. Like I have 5 kids. Kids are actually the best at marketing. If you have small children, I'm talking about not toddlers, but like from 8 to 16. I mean, kids have no filters. They'll tell you if it's cringy, if it's funny, and they're actually the best judges. Like they pay attention to things around. Like, oh, that's stupid. Oh, that's cute. Oh, that's funny, right? Ask kids. Ask your, people at work. Ask your peers. Like ask on Facebook, like people, like you'll be surprised how many people will chip in. People like giving advice.
Yeah.
People like when someone's asking their opinions. Like it's not hard to come up with a focus group.
What do you think of people naming their company after their name?
Love it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it as long as you have cool name. Like I wouldn't name it under my name. Dmitry is like I don't like people cannot spell my name. Every time I go to McDonald's or like they always chop it like like what's the name? Dmitry is always like 3 4 like I if you have a spellable cool name, go for it. But Victor's Roofing is amazing name out of Michigan, right? Victor, you can't misspell it. But Dmitry, like the way I spell my name is not how most people spell it, so it's horrible name.
Yeah.
Like both good names, like in our cultures, but horrible business names for different reasons.
How does someone, because this is a very common question I get, and it kind of relates to the branding, but how does someone get referrals? Like if two contractors are doing identical work, right? What is one company to get more referrals versus the other? Why does that happen?
Experience, just experience. Not only how you make them feel, yeah, how good was communication. Like homeowner need to feel like you took care of them. Like I could recommend one book is Unreasonable Hospitality. My entire team is reading it right now. It's are you taking care of the homeowner? Are you on top of it? So if you're the contractor and let's say you're doing big job, like let's say you send a sales rep, knock at the door, and you got like $38,000 insurance check. Okay. And then you disappeared and you send a crew. And after the crew is done, you came back to collect the final payment, right? You weren't there during the job. You literally disappeared after you signed a contract. And now job is done. Quality is there, but you're asking them for review. You know why you're not gonna get that review? Because they feel like you did not earn it. They feel like you didn't do enough work. You just collected $38,000. That's your review. That's your payment. That's why when you do something for free, extra gesture, extra something, that above and beyond what's expected, like when you're in a restaurant and it's your anniversary and they bring you cake on the house, this on the house, right? How do you feel? I mean,
Great.
amazing.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not, yeah, like little things. How was the food? Like that extra communication goes a long way. So those contractors who go above and beyond to make sure the homeowners, I recently noticed that um, I'm going to Jeep dealership, and every time they were the first one, but now I have more dealerships doing it to me. They sending me videos of vehicle inspections, like, oh, to make sure here's the video, like text messages and emails. We love it. Think about if roofer A took a payment and after the job asked for a review, but B, sent 3 videos and 5 text messages like, "Hey, we discovered rotted wood. We're repairing it right now," or here's the video of cleanup, or here's this, here's area of concern, but we took care of it. Here, like no matter what you do, document it, send it to people, show them what you did extra, show them how it's going, like just the progress. Like, hey, we started, we're gonna finish today. It might take a little bit longer. Like, if there's any delays in communication, scheduling, who knows what. If you're coming back tomorrow, send them the text message. Hey, we're done, but it was dark. I'm gonna stop by tomorrow morning to make sure there's no nails. I'll do one more sweep, right? So you do all of that, and then you ask them for a review, and they're like, absolutely, you cared for us. You were informing us every long enough. I mean, most roofing jobs get done in a day anyway, but nothing's stopping you in that day to send 4 or 5 text messages just with the progress. Hey, just letting you know we got started on time, everything is good, I've loaded, no surprises. Boom. Or we got a surprise, but we took care of it. Like, it could be whatever, right? And then you ask for payment, and then you ask for review. That's how they're gonna remember you, because now they know. Like, if someone says, can you recommend a roofer, now that the person who've been over communicated is like, yeah, I he knows if he recommends that roofer, they're gonna take care of them. But first one, what do they know? Oh no, this guy gonna take your payment, and you're not gonna hear him until his job is done. Do you think people really care for it? No.
I mean, something that actually took me a long time to learn exactly what you said. It's the emotional journey that a customer feels when you're actually your product or service. So it's I heard you when you talked. You said a lot of how the customer feels throughout the whole conversation, because it's very important that you take that emotional journey, and understand what they're feeling throughout the process. So it's important that you have that in place. I don't know if you ever read this book, How to Never Lose a Customer Again by Joey Coleman. Have you read that book?
No.
That's a great book. He talks about like the similar, like basically the idea is that people are not logical, they're emotional. So even though if you do a good service or good product, sometimes they make decisions based on emotions. So you have to really take consider the emotional things that they're considering when you're actually delivering your product or service. So it's very eye opening for me, because I thought, like, for me, I'm very like logical, so it kind of like stood out because I'm not that type of person. So that's kind of the things that help me understand better. You've done you obviously done a lot of ads before. Like, you said this before, like you think content, and I'm starting to agree with you, by the way, that, and I think I agree with you now. It's content is better than ads, right? So can you talk about that? How does content and words better than ads in terms of getting leads?
Content is marketing. Content is your message. And there's place for both. You run content and you run ads. There are two different categories. Content makes you recognizable. Content builds trust. The only reason people are not going to do business with you because they don't trust you, they don't know who you are. But when I started my underlayment business, we did almost $3 million first year in business, and people already knew me, and I started asking. So because I've been on YouTube for so long and people trust me, like, also when you consume content, Alex Harmozy has go on it for him. When you produce value for other people, they feel like they owe you something. They feel like they want to support you. I feel that way. Like, I watch Patrick Bet David. So you watch someone long, or Gary Vee, right? You watch someone a long time, and then when you have opportunity to pay them back, to buy their merch, to go to their conference, to sign up for their app, now it's your way to return the favor. Like, hey, thank you so much, I wouldn't be here without you. Thank you for pouring your heart for free to me. Now I'm going to do the same to you. So, like, when you produce your best content for free, not only is build trust with them, not only it sets you as an expert, but also you're depositing your energy into them, you're depositing value into them. And sooner or later, grateful people, good people, best people you want to do business with will want to pay back. So it's only a matter of time. When, I mean, think about this phenomenon. Why Michael Jordan so successful with the Jordans, right? Because if you think about Michael Jordan, he's iconic player. So many people, and I'm one of them, will say that he inspired them. He wanted, they want to be like him. Like, him playing for Chicago Bulls was the most iconic thing for the city of Chicago. Like, growing up, it makes you believe, makes you want to jump. Like, it was so cool. Like, it was unreal, right? So when he launched Jordans, now we're wearing that with pride because it stands for something. But we all support Jordan back. Now he's a billionaire, And everybody's like, he deserves it. The best shoe deal in history, right? But that's the effect of creating content. Michael Jordan created content for us. He was working hard, making all those plays, dunks, whatever he was doing in the field, it was iconic. So then when he asked us to buy his Jordans, we're all like, where do I swipe the card? Take my card, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That's how content works.
yeah, exactly. Um, w- how do what is the type of content that builds trust? Can you talk more about that? I guess it's different for each contractor. What do you think? How do you think about that?
When you provide value without expectations for them to buy from you, I would say what people don't like, they don't like being sold. When you introduce yourself, you kind of lose trust. Or you just business owner. Like I would say, don't introduce yourself and don't finish the video with your phone number. They will find you. They'll find your number if they're interested in doing business with you. If you provide a value, like legit value, like, hey, my name is Alex. In this video, I'm gonna tell you what not to do with the insurance claim. Never ever sign it. There's a guy on YouTube. I absolutely love him. He used to work for Chevy dealer. Like he's has one of the best YouTube channels when it comes to financing a car. And he got fired. He lost his job and switched to YouTube. I think it's Chevy Guy is the name of the channel. So his entire channel is what your dealer will not tell you. Never buy this. Never sign for this. This is how they get you. This is upsell. I mean, think about how much value that is. And when you like think about how much trust that builds when you tell people the secret, when you tell people how to save money. And a lot of contractors hate this because it's counterintuitive. Why would I tell homeowner how to save money? Well, just because they are homeowners and you're here to help them. And I promise you, if you teach the homeowner how to do something themselves, they're not going to do it themselves. They're going to hire you. Like if you go and create a video how to build your first website for free, right? I'll watch the video and I'm like, Mauricio, screw this. I'm not doing it. Build one for me. But because you share that content, I'm like, this guy knows what he's talking about. He knows how to build a website, and I don't want to do it. I'll hire you to do it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I want to talk about this. So, like, in terms of like, obviously, you've been in the marketing, you're very familiar with marketing. There's a lot of like mistrust between, marketers, right, and contractors. What do you think? Kind of, what are the things that can happen to build that trust, or what do you think a contractor needs to do on their end, and what do you think a marketer needs to do on their end to be successful to build that relationship between each other?
Well, contractors need to follow up with their leads and stay on top of that. First thing, it's all about response rate for the contractor. How fast you pick up the phone, how many times you follow up, right? And for the marketer is stop overselling it and stop over. Marketers are very good at creating unrealistic expectations. The whole like BS, are you ready to take 30 leads? Like marketers need to wake up to the reality that contractors have ROI and they have to meet that ROI. And if it sounds too good to be true, it's probably a red flag. So stop over promising what you cannot deliver. Every situation or promise a guarantee that hey, like when a marketer say, well, we're gonna charge you $5,000 a month, but it's hard to say what the results are. Like, well, really? Like, it's not that, give me the worst case scenario and I will consider it. Because when I see marketers charging, let's say $5,000 and they get like two leads and they start doing blame games like, oh, we have to give it a time. No, you don't have to give it a time. That poor contractor just paid you $2,500 per lead, and he actually didn't get any job, so he just wasted 5 grand. And now here you're asking another $5,000. Marketers should put them in the shoes of a contractor and stop over promising, because that's like the biggest problem in that proposition.
That basically there's is your if you're like in the space, right? If you start an agency or whatever, or just in marketing in general, there's no barriers to entry, right? So anybody could claim they're a marketer. There's no licensing, no registration. So you just need a laptop. You don't need a lot of overhead. And the issue is that there's a lot of kids, honestly, that come in 21, 20 years old, 18 years old, whatever. And I respect the hustle, but at the end of the day, they are like doing these crazy, like, 30 days, or your money back. It's kind of like an offer thing. And that's kind of like and contractors fall for it, and they fall for it all the time. And that's the thing to consider, is like, when you're hiring someone, you just have to hire someone that's reputable, right? Ask for referrals, right? Ask for referrals, right? That's a big thing, that because it sounds sexy, right? It sounds like, hey, 30 jobs or your money back and stuff. It's gonna like, hey, I'm gonna get my money back, but a lot of times it doesn't work that way, right? You rather work someone that actually tells you to you straight. With that, because I do had another question with that. What are the most common things that a contractor can uh, like watch out for if they're hiring somebody? Like, what are the things that they have to look for? Like, what are the things they need to have in place for them? Because you said the lead stuff, but what are the things they need to do, like, on their end, for that to be successful?
I would say communication number one, tracking that communication, tracking that lead, follow up with that lead. Because a lot of leads are being wasted if we're honest with ourselves. Lead is a lead. Every opportunity is opportunity. You just have to be in front of it. You have to stay on top of it. I would say tracking, but also how you present yourself. You can, a lot of times, you can churn in even a bad lead into great opportunity if I mean, think about it. Every house needs something. Like if you give me a roof repair, gutter cleaner, I don't care what it is. Like if I go to your house, unless you have a brand new house with all brand new materials, I'll find a service that I can serve you. If I'm a decent, hardworking guy and I build that connection, it just, I would say, stop treating leads like leads. Treat them like future customers. For me, every opportunity is opportunity. If I come to you, like, I don't care, like, it could be the crappiest lead campaign, the crappiest, right? Hey, my name is Dmitry. I'm here, to take a look at the house. I'll walk around, come back, and show you what I found. I notice you have a downspout that's disconnected from drainage, so water going in the house. Easy fix. We can do blah blah blah. I noticed the water coming here. I noticed you don't have enough ventilation. Your roof is okay, but siding is my concern. I mean, I'll give, at the very least, if I spend 30, 45 minutes at the house, I'll give you a nice report, nice few videos, few pictures, like what I know about your house that you probably already know, because as a homeowner myself, I know the problems with my house. I know it's not everything is perfect. I know, like, little area like deck here, that we're all procrastinators. We all don't have enough time to take care of everything. So when someone comes to you and offer you service at a reasonable price, why would you say no to it? It's an icebreaker. It's a foot in the door offer. Like, think about pest control guys. Like, for $89 a month, we'll swap this. Like, they don't do shit. Like, I've seen them, right? Like, but it's like, yeah, I don't have to deal with the spiders. I don't have a broom. Like, I mean, really, you can't take care of the spider web? Like, come on, what do you think they're gonna do? But we appreciate it. We appreciate someone for a small fee is gonna do it for us, right? But why we can't do is, like, so I would say, if you're the contractor and any marketer gives you leads, treat them like future customers. Every lead, every name, it's not just a name, it's actually connection. And it's up to you to build a relationship with that potential new customer of yours, instead of like, oh, it was a bad lead. What the bad sales rep will say, oh, it was a bad lead. Well, did they have a house? Were they live? So you telling me they don't hire people and they don't take care of the property? Bullshit. Everybody does. So you just didn't find a connection and you didn't find a service to do for them. But if you're doing exteriors, windows, roofing, gutters, whatever, so you tell me that, I mean, maybe they didn't have it, but their neighbor probably have some. I mean, come on, you can find something what to do. That's just my 5 cents.
Yeah. Well, 5 years from now, what will separate contractors who are thrive versus the ones who struggle?
Say it again.
The 5 years from now, what do you think will separate contractors who struggle versus the ones who thrive?
Money management. We live in the greatest times where contractors today still can take a lot of deposits, spend it on other projects, Robin to Peter to pay Paul works. I feel like in the next few years, they're going to crack down on it. Like, the law's already in place. So we have sting operations. We have, they're literally setting up traps for contractors who commit fraud. They investigate contractors who mismanage money. So it's getting harder and harder. I predict that those contractors who rely on any kind of money laundering, Ponzi scheme, business models, they're going to be not only called out, but they're going to be outlawed. Look at the California. In California, you cannot take more than 10% down payments. So financially, you'll have to be strong to do any of that stuff. So barrier of entry are going to be way harder. Not to mention that to start a business and branding and stand out it will be harder as well. We'll always probably will have some kind of form of chucks in the trucks, but if they pass the laws, or like it'll be harder to collect the initial down payment before the job is done, just because the trust is getting eliminated right now. Like there's so many stories and there's so many bad players that sooner or later either homeowners are going to stop giving money or the government will say, you know what, we're putting end to this. Like not enough scam.
What's your vision with directory in the next 5 years? Where do you want to be with directory?
Build the trust. Like that's, I mean, we're going to the top. Connect, help as many homeowners as possible, connect as many contractors as possible. Sky's the limit.
Is that why you're creating content for the homeowners? That's the reason why for the
Yeah, 100%.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What's your opinion overall? I know this is a broad question about private equity. Like, what is your opinion on that? How is it shifting the marketplace?
Mixed, really mixed. So I see good. I also see a lot of bad. There are definitely, just like with everything. There are good players. There are bad players. I always think what's good for the homeowner. I would say private equity more times than not. It's not good for the homeowners, but they're definitely market for everyone. They're definitely buyer. I just recently talked to Josie Parks right before this call, and he said there's local roofing companies, there are regional, there's national local roofing companies, and homeowners. There are homeowners who will do business with local, regional, and national. So it's just our nature. Like people who will do business with you will not do business with me. People who will do business with big companies will not the same people who will do business with the small companies. But everyone has their own market. So there are definitely companies, like some people buy from companies on TV. And I'm one of those people who will not buy from the company on TV because I know it's probably going to be overpriced. I know it's probably going to be, it's it's not the best choice, right? Now with that, if they have a future, they're here to stay. It'll be a wild ride for quite a few companies who sold to them. I don't envy PE firms right now because they kind of bought at the peak and the roofing industry is adjusting, so they have to lower their prices to be competitive, which means losing profits. The whole industry is changing, so PE firms came at a great time, but now times are not the greatest for roofers and for PE firms. So it's easy to compete against PE firms in some markets. And it's also like very market driven. Like, Washington, D.C., New Jersey is one area, and then Texas completely different. Florida is absolute different area. Like you can't compare them. Each market is different, but uh, we'll see. It's too early to do complete analysis. We're too early in the game.
Awesome. Where do people find you, Dmitry?
I have a website, dmitrylipinskiy.com, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, I mean, everywhere. So, but my website, if someone wants to book a call, dmitrylipinskiy.com, I have links to my cell number in all my YouTube videos and Facebook, Instagram, all of it.
And guys, just be aware. Dmitry does a lot of coaching for that for his company, and he has a lot of different companies. So you definitely check him out. He's all over YouTube, so I'm sure you'll find a lot of things he does valuable. So thank you, Dmitry, man. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, brother.
Thanks for listening to AI and Marketing for Home Service Pros. If you got value from today's episode, do us a favor. Follow the show, share it with a contractor friend, and leave a quick review. Want help using AI or smarter marketing to grow your business? Head to contractormarketingpros.net and book your free strategy call.